Welcome, everybody, to Generation Dan, the only podcast where the jungle juice is partially made with our tears. I'm Atlas Novack. I'm a millennial. Who else is here with me?
I'm Dino, the genetic marvel, and I am just keeping it together. That's all. That's where I'm at. So.
And our guest today is L Faunt. Welcome back. How are you?
I am back. Hello, I am L Faunt. Pronouns they, he. I guess I count as an exennial or elderly millennial.
Closer to him than to me,
and I beg of you to not pressure me to talk about sports because I will just make things up with confidence.
Oh, no, it's okay. We talked about that last week, and now that the Dodgers have won the World Series, I can say, suck it, Dino. Wear a Dodger t-shirt next time we see you.
Now I was going to wake up this morning, and then daylight savings happened, and I'm like, I'm not waking up for anything. So, now I got to go shopping for a Dodgers. Listen, I might get lynched. Do you understand how that works up here? Like, it's not going to go
your
well.
whole MO is, I'm Dino. Look how tall I am. No one can mess with me.
I'll be honest with you. So today is the last night. So, Elle, I've been working in a haunted house for the entire month of October. And this is the third year that I've done it in 3 different places. And this one has so far been the most enjoyable. And today is the last day. And I'm like, I am so sad because I'm just like, I really like scaring people. Like,
he's like, this is where I belong.
It really, like, it's this weird situation where I'm like, do you understand how, like, on it? I've explained this to some of my coworkers. So some of them are very small women. Some are just small men. And I'm like, you understand that we don't live in the same world, right? Like, I walk down the street and people are like, oh, you be careful of that guy. And I'm like, I have resting murder face, right? Like, people, I've gotten off the bus at nighttime from work in a suit, wearing a trench coat with like cufflinks, the whole thing, and a briefcase. And people, I'm like, do you want me to cross the street? And they're like, would you mind? You're terrifying. And I'm like, that's fine. It's not a problem, you know?
And you're like, it's fine. I was just working with Meyer Wolfsheim downtown, and my cufflinks are made of human molars. And
like, I feel like that would be, people would be like, that makes complete sense. You're Father Time, and you're here to steal our souls. And I'm like, I'm sure. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and for those, I guess, not super familiar with the scare acting world, because I've always had some friend. I mean, this is really like a big, Halloween city where we live in LA,
Yes.
and even in Orange County where I grew up. And for probably 20 years now, I've always had some friend or a few who were working scare acting, whether it was like Knott's Berry Farm, Knott's Scary Farm, or something a little more independent. And people will punch you when they are scared in a maze. So it's a very different world.
So hilariously, I've heard of this for 3 years running. People are like, I got punched in the face, I got kicked, and I'm like, everyone's always been really nice to me. I'm not like, it's this weird. So I come out of the darkness, and there'll be guys like this, and they're like, nope, and I'm like, that's a good decision. And they're
I guess on some level you have like bouncer body privilege, because like I have one of my really good friends is basically shaped like you, and his nickname is Joe Smash. Like, and he's worked security at venues and stuff like that. Very similar situation. He hasn't done scare acting, but he's been in Night of the Living Dead for like several years on end as an actor. And yeah, very much the same, like security guard body type.
Like, I've applied to be security, like a bouncer, and they're like, no. And I'm like, how come? They're like, you look like you're going to be a problem. And I'm like, why? I'll wear a suit. They're like, no, man, you just look like you would be happy to fight. I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty true. They're like, yeah, so it's not, Because
I wonder though. I wonder if you could like actually get a gig as like a private bodyguard though, because I've also seen some folks who look like you who just like kind
Yeah.
of A-list
You're like,
people. They work
we
with
we
them.
want you to be the guy who throws Jazzy Jeff out of the mansion in Fresh Prince. Like we just need you to do that off camera, of course. But
I have thrown people out of houses that way. Like I'm like, you can grab somebody by the scruff of their neck and their belt and just, whoo. And yeah, I'm telling you, it's a great feeling because
I
yeah.
I went to go see Hadestown on Halloween with my wife, and the guy who plays Hades has to be huge. Like a big part of that casting is you have to be over 6 feet and
Yeah.
you're a bass or a baritone. He'd be perfect for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So after the Dodgers win, Canada has to change Thanksgiving to the correct date.
Oh
No.
buddy.
Okay. No. It's never gonna happen,
this
Jim.
month when we do our annual like Thanksgiving in America.
That's
Listen,
funny as hell.
I also
We do
just
it
realized
every year. Yeah.
I'm gonna be in the States for Thanksgiving.
Oh shit! Wait,
So
where
I
else
may
are
have to
you
switch
gonna be?
sides. I don't know what to do. Yeah.
Cool and or sorry at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Let's
I'm
be
getting
real.
a turkey.
Okay.
I don't know what everyone else is gonna do, but yeah, it's whatever.
Where in the States are you gonna be?
Florida.
Florida. Never mind.
Possibly. So yeah, it's not gonna.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is my Nova's vision of entrepreneurship, and I haven't done my work yet and couldn't find the source either. What may I do?
This is
use
the
AI.
worst people to ask. Yeah.
Ruin. Yeah, use AI and ruin your teacher's life. That's right.
Yeah.
What's up, Joey? Can you help me for English language? No, I'll tell you that much. Hey, Atlas has a degree in creative writing. He can't either. He comes up with some weird shit. So sorry, Cook, but
Florida
hey,
doesn't count. I love that.
Florida doesn't
Dino, I sent in the story I wrote when I took my meds too many times.
Oh, nice.
They call it like this. It's not a contest, but it's like if you get accepted, you go tell it in front of a campfire.
Sure.
And I got rejected from it, so
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. Yeah. That was for the betterment of mankind.
Probably.
It's,
but they're like, we want really short ones. I'm like, okay, all right. Well, I can't do any of my longer
I take
things.
pride in my poor spelling and grammar. I've at this point I've just embraced it, and I use poor spelling and grammar just to enrage people. Like there's, yeah. I'll use the wrong two all the time, and it's like, yeah. And people get mad, and I'm like, I don't care.
My father-in-law asked for clarification. He's like, wait, which two is it for this thing that I'm saying? And like, I almost had an aneurysm, and Katie's like, calm the fuck down.
Okay, listen. TWO, self-explanatory. That's fine, okay?
Yeah.
But TO and TOO, you're like, that's ambiguous. I'm sorry, because you know why? Listen.
TO is a direction, TOO is an amount. Done. That's it.
Okay. Here's a niche one that kind of gets me. When people are trying to say the phrase sneak peek, right? Like I'm gonna peek at something, and
Sneakily.
they spell it like PEAK, like Twin Peaks,
like the top of a mountain.
Yeah. Like, are you like
even I know that's
LSD?
PEEK. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, because the sneak has the EAK.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, the other one has to be. No, that's not how that works.
Yeah, no. I honestly see this is one of those things where, just so everyone knows, we're talking about how to party, and this is how a party with the three of us would go. This would be the discussion. There'd be loud music, and then I would eventually just go, I'm just gonna turn this down if you guys don't mind, because I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn it down.
Okay, so the reason we're doing this is the thing is every time the Dodgers win the World Series, which is a lot in the past decades. Suck it.
Woo.
Every time the Dodgers win the World Series, LA goes nuts. We're setting off fireworks. We're like traffic is even worse than normal because they're like people are having block parties, and this is after last year where the fires almost burned down large portions of the city. They're like, fireworks, let's fucking do it. Like, no matter what happens as the Dodgers win the World Series, the result is the same. LA likes to party. It was also kind of what was happening over the summer with the protest. There was a lot of that same energy. The like, let's go nuts.
That's true.
So I thought this would be a good time to talk about not just those kind of parties, but also like parties from our youth. Make us sad to think about.
I'm a firm believer at this point that LA is just looking for a reason to light itself on fire. It's like, did they win? Light us on fire. Did they lose? Fire again. Like just like
okay. See, I was under the impression that we are like lower key compared to some cities like Philly and like Philly won some sports again. I do
the
not
Super Bowl
fucking know
last
or
year.
care. Like, yeah, they won some sports last year, and there were people like taking down a street light pole with like a DJ on a platform in the middle of the street.
I think if it's that, it's like if there's like a tier list, like LA is A tier, Philadelphia is S tier of like how wild you'll go.
Yeah.
When your sports team wins. But also for LA, like the Lakers and the Dodgers like are the ones with that level of like fandom for the entire city. Yes, we have a hockey team, but I don't think Kings fans are the ones lighting off fireworks when they win.
No, it's too cold. They're like,
or the Rams. Like we don't really care that much about our football team to that extent. I don't think.
I love the Dodgers mariachi band. That's fair.
Yeah.
Hi, Victoria.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it's hilarious because the amount of Toronto was essentially you could have heard a pin drop in the 9th inning.
Because it was all tied and we went into the 10th, right?
It was this is the thing is it was tied, and then it was I think there were 2 people on base or it was bases loaded, and it's like, oh, something could happen, and then we're going to 10th inning, and I'm like, why would you do that? At that point, we were all like, all right, forget it.
By the way, because I asked this on Blue Sky last night, is baseball just like Calvin ball, where you yell out a number and that's how many innings they decide to play?
No, it's 9 innings, but if you're tied at the end of 9th inning, you just keep going until someone wins.
So it's kind of like Calvin ball.
And you know what? Trust me, those are like the starting of the questions when it comes to baseball, because there are a lot of fat baseball players and they are still athletes, and you're like, hey man, that's not, I don't understand what's happening. And they're like, I'm a professional athlete. You're like at snooker? Like, no, I play baseball. And you're like, how do you that doesn't make any sense. Like
the most famous, baseball player of all time, Babe Ruth, fattest fucking guy on the planet.
Yeah.
Now, granted, this was almost 100 years ago and before integrated baseball, so take that with a grain of salt.
There's a whole rabbit hole of guys that played baseball that would like stop a game to have a smoke, and then they're like, I also need to drink a 5th of whiskey before I start, and you're like, what is happening? And they're like, hold on, I needed some scotch.
Yeah.
And they're like, just chill out, and they're drinking, and you're like, what is going on here? Like it is very much a like the epitome of recreational fun. I feel like it's just like football, someone's gonna get hurt. Soccer, you have to run, otherwise people make fun of you. Like it's not,
there are some positions where you'll barely run at all. It's great. The home field advantage for the home team at bat last seems to be unfair sometimes. Kind of. Yeah.
You know what? Why don't you go fuck yourself, Jim? How about that? You son of a bitch. Listen, hey, it was a good game. I was so this is gonna sound interesting. I was in a closet waiting for people to scare and had my phone out and like swiping for it to like reload. I'm like, fucking hit something, hit the fucking ball. Like I was just so enraged. And then I would, because the way my position is I can see through like holes in the wall that people are coming, and I have a few animatronics before me so I can tell that they're coming. So I have time to put my phone away, put my glove back on, and I'm just like, oh, you're getting it, fucking. And then they walk by and I'm just like, ah! And they're like, ah!
I love that you used that in your scare acting. That's 100%. Wonderful.
It's no, it's
There were a bunch of memes going around where it was like Dodger fans on Halloween like, you know, giving candy to trick or treaters. Like someone opens the door, like fucking throws candy and closes the door again. So, like no back to watch from TV.
Yeah.
I played football in college.
Yeah, we were so my partner and I were like across town in a different part of LA, which if you do not live in LA, that's actually impressive because it's like driving to Mexico and it takes 40 minutes. But like we were across town for a really cool event. Maybe I'll get into it later. But like we went somewhere to grab something between lunch and dinner, and like, you know, the houses on the block were decorated, and one of them had like the skeleton was wearing a Dodgers shirt, and like they had their, and there was a little blue skull like on the table with the skeleton decorations. It was very like,
I like
a focused Halloween display. I loved it.
I mean, Halloween plus a little revenge. It's you're like, I get it. It's a little bit of I really am impressed by the amount of work people put into their Halloween decorations and stuff. And like that's the like I don't like working on Halloween just because I like seeing what's going on, but then I'm like, but if I'm working during Halloween, it's an excuse for me not to have to meet people at my house and give them my candy. You know, fair.
I think the best part of the Halloween party is both showing off your costume and seeing what people came with.
Yeah, but I don't like dressing up, but I will do it for money, which makes me sound like a stripper.
I was
thumbs up. That's fair.
2025. Everybody can be a stripper. It's great.
So like, because my wife and I weren't like, my sister throws this party every year for Halloween. And then this year, she's like, I'm too tired. I'm not doing it. I'm like, really? The year Halloween's on a Friday? Awesome. Cool. So that's why we ended up going to Hadestown, because that's like something to do on Halloween. But, you know, being that we're still teachers, I wanted to dress up still. So I threw on a dress shirt. I threw on the black dad sweater that I have in my rotation and some dress pants. And I was Aaron Burr from Hamilton. And it was like the easiest costume. Here's the problem.
Hey, you need to go like 3 years with no Hamilton references, like just a cold turkey. Just for
I will disintegrate and fall into the ocean. But the problem was that you know, in the morning it's cold. It's like 50 degrees and foggy. But by noon, when we're doing like the costume contest and like the teachers or judges or whatever, it's fucking blazing. It's like, this is you know, LA in fall, and I'm like just sweating to death in this thing. So I had for my period 3, we had a like Halloween party, which, you know, they made an announcement over the intercom that was like, we are still a school. We will be having instruction. And my instruction was, okay, a short story writing contest that the kids were working on all week and candy. That was it. That was the instruction. But by the time I got back, it was just like drenched in sweat. So I was like, give me like a minute before you kids come in. And I like swapped out into normal clothes because I was going to die otherwise.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, we often have like heat waves through the week of Halloween here in LA. And sometimes it's cold.
Define cold for LA weather.
What's cold for LA weather? Just so you understand. So at one point I had to get moved to cover somebody else in this haunt, and I was in
Celsius.
In Celsius?
10 Celsius is like
it's t-shirt weather. It's beautiful. You kidding me?
For you guys, because you're Canada. That's
we're Canada. No, like it's a weird thing where like, so I was in a I want to say like a funeral home portion of the haunt kind of thing, where essentially I had bodies in a fridge that you could see that were like hanging on spikes, and then a body that had like parts missing on a table. A guy was chained to a wall. And I would come out and understand my outfit comes with a 8-inch cleaver. And I'm also wearing someone else's face strapped to mine. It's a lot. Okay. I come out and I'm like, the weird thing is because it has access to outside, like I'm under a tent, I would breathe out and everyone could see the air out of my mouth. And then they would breathe and they could, because it was just like this one room that was like freezing cold. like because it's got a fridge, like it makes sense, right? And yeah, I thought I was gonna die that night, and because it was raining as well, and I was covered in water. And it's like I hear you say 10 degrees Celsius. I'm like, oh, that would have been perfect. Are you kidding me? I gotta. Oh, 10 degrees is great. You bastards.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like I liked the weather in the morning, and then
you guys don't deserve the World Series win just because you have nice weather. That's a fair.
I mean, we deserve it because we had the National Guard and military
No.
and cities
like national troops like terrorizing, like half the city burned down in January.
Yeah.
That's them every year. Every year, you guys can't pull the same card and be like, "We had stuff." Yeah, well, you know what? Build it better. I don't know.
I'm just glad that like the fires are like maybe we shouldn't have these giant palm trees that don't really provide any shade and are just kind of like a thing for the fire to jump to from area to area. That would be cool. My fucking fine.
And go really up into the sky so it can just travel far. It's nice.
Yeah. I actually undressed for money.
But I make more to put my clothes back on. I'm in the same boat, buddy.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Did you guys ever go to like Halloween parties in high school or college?
Yes.
What was that like?
Weird. You know how hard it is to make an excuse for why you need an outfit when you don't celebrate Halloween? And I'm like, I need these weird clothes. And my mom's like, no, you don't. I'm like,
so what would you do in that case? Okay, for context, new listeners, Dino grew up as a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Holidays. Yeah.
So well, this is the thing is like I still find like people who are like, hey, happy birthday. And I'm like, all right, sure, whatever. I don't care. It's not a thing, right? So Halloween was always a weird thing because people are like, did you not get candy? I'm like, yeah, we just buy candy. Like that's like we were upper middle class. I'm like, my mom's like, oh, you guys want candy? There was candy on sale, so I got candy. We have candy. It's not, I didn't have to go and beg people for candy. I was also a fat kid, so we had candy. It was great. But yeah, it was after I became an adult that I started going to actually investing and buying stuff for like Halloween type outfits. And of course it was usually like the week of, and I'm like, shit, I need stuff. And it would just be weird. Like one year I had a pair of coveralls, which I had to get specially ordered because I'm gigantic. And then I had like Mickey Mouse hands. And then I had like a small plastic bunny mask. And then I would just stand at people's windows and then just tilt my head sideways and start waving. And
yes,
that's pretty cool.
It worked. It worked really well because people were like, I was sitting in a rocking chair because I'm very good at not moving. And I'm good at consistent, simple moves. So I'm in a rocking chair and just rocking back and forth as if I'm an animatronic. And this little kid walks up. I'm at a friend's house. He's in a coffin in his front yard, by the way. And there's a smoke machine, all sorts of shit. I'm in the rocking chair, and a kid walks up and is just like, that's a big bunny. I'm like, oh, I'm going to fuck this kid up for real. As he's walking towards the door, I have the bag of candy beside the door, but the door is like way behind me. As he comes closer, I'm like, you want some candy? And he's like, fuck. He just runs, and his parents like, you're not supposed to swear. He's like, you see the fucking bunny. It was really good. Yeah. There's some fun times.
It's justified for this moment.
100% was. Then the parents like, that's real. And just, yeah, they were like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely like a chunk of years of Halloweens that I just don't remember. 20s, drugs and alcohol, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I know Gen Z is like real mellow, pretty much, besides like vaping, but like, yeah, there's a lot of Halloweens I don't remember from the like 2000s. And before that, kind of like teens through the beginning of my 20s. It's funny because I just wrote a comedy bit about this, but like there is definitely for queer people a pipeline to Halloween. You mean my first drag show? Like, there was a lot of gender stuff. One year I dressed as the guy who sang the song "I Believe in a Thing Called Love" and like tried
From
to
the
wear this
darkness, right?
cat suit.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it didn't really read. I don't know. There was all kinds of stuff going on. So yeah, gender stuff. Some years, like when I was a really young teen, I was just like, oh, I'll just dress goth and like my mom will freak out less about it because it's Halloween. So I could like
Makes
get
sense.
away with that for a while. Yeah, that it basically it was an excuse to be queer and goth a lot of the time when I was younger.
I had a friend that he dressed a very certain way. He would wear like Hawaiian shirts and stuff most of the time.
Uh-huh.
And he kept on buying me Hawaiian shirts, and I'm like, I don't like Hawaiian shirts. I don't know why you keep on buying me these. And he's like, it'll look good on you. So for Halloween,
Yeah, was that like weird fat guy profiling? Like
weird stuff.
weird.
And so what I did one year was he was like, oh yeah, I'm busy for Halloween. I'm like, all right, cool. I go, just so you know, his name was Mike Ellis, and I'm like, for Halloween I'm dressing as Mike Ellis. He goes, what do you mean? I'm like, you'll see. So I like bought glasses from the dollar store, and I wore his shirt, and just because he would be jeans and a Hawaiian shirt, that was his outfit. And then I just kind of styled my hair a little bit like his. And then I just walked around and they're like, oh, what are you? I'm like, I'm Mike Ellis. They're like, who's Mike Ellis? I'm like, this guy. And they're like, ah, fuck yeah, you're Mike Ellis. I'm like, all right. And then I kept on telling people I'm dressed as Mike Ellis, and then showing them a picture, and they're like, fuck yeah. And then I would take pictures of me, and people were like, this is Mike Ellis. And then I just bombarded him. He never bought me another shirt. It worked out perfectly. I'll be honest.
That's fantastic.
That's wonderful.
That's on the level of our little socks thing from earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Where, so L, it turned into this weird arms race of like anytime you saw a display in a store with socks, you had to film it with you off camera saying the word socks in whatever way you wanted and send it to the other person.
Yeah.
So it started with like, oh, socks. And then like by the end of the year, it's like socks, like deep and guttural. And like I'm in Japan sending this to him. And
those are
That's
cool
really
socks.
funny.
Yeah. I mean,
by the way, Dino, I too have dressed as a friend for Halloween.
Really?
I don't even know if it was Halloween. Like, I think it was like I think it was like some event that my friend was like hosting or emceeing, and I'm like, oh, it's the anniversary. Wouldn't it be funny if I showed up like dressed as him and people could ask me? And like, yeah, it was like a weird mini me. I don't know. It's probably creepy in retrospect.
I mean, like you can definitely do it creepily. There's no question.
Yes.
That's a on the fly decision. Like, now do I creep everybody out here, or I just have fun with it? And you're like, I don't know. I think I might be creepy. That's fair. That's
a way to do the hyper specific costume, right? Because like other times where you're like, I'm this guy from this thing in this thing over here, and people are like, I don't care. But you just being like, it's Mike Ellis. I'm Mike Ellis. And they're like, oh shit, you are Mike Ellis. Like, that's it.
It was, and I had a great picture of him. Like, and he's like, and then I would pose and be like, hey.
Yeah.
He's like, shit, you're Mike Ellis. I'm like, I know. This is fucking great. That night, I was joking with a guy. His name is Ed DeLay. We friended on Facebook. Never seen from him again. Never talked to him again. But we're friends on Facebook. And I'm like, that was the early 2000s. What are you gonna do? It was fun. It's a good time. I've been to that bar. It's a very it's right by the University of Toronto, so it's a college bar. And they did the after party for last year's so there's a castle in Toronto that essentially the guy couldn't pay the taxes, so it reverted to the city. So now the city has it. They have a display thing, and it's kind of like a museum, and they do a Halloween haunt. So I worked there. So the after party, like a week later, was at that same bar, and I walked in, and I'm like, I feel too old to be here, because there was like everyone was like 18, 19, 20, and I'm like, I'm 45. This seems weird. And then people were like,
I feel like that's also iconic for being a scare actor, though. Like, like it'll be that, and then there will be the person who is literally 45.
One of the guys I'm working with right now, he's 67, and I'm like, holy fucking shit! Like, and he moves.
And then people ask him how old he is, and then all the kids are like 6, 7. Shut the fuck up!
Oh, the amount of kids walking through the maze going 6, 7, and I'm like, I'll cut you into 7 pieces, and they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, it's yeah.
I think that spell is starting to break though, because the adults are doing it, and now the little kids are doing it.
If I have an adult say 6, 7, I'm gonna punch him right in the face. I'll be honest.
No. Like,
I can't.
Adults, as in like we're doing it to tease them.
Oh yeah, no, that's
right.
Fine.
You do it to tease them, or like us teachers figured out if you're sick of a meme, just do the meme. The kids, they'll stop.
It's psychological warfare. You're like, yeah.
But
I'll
now
fly with it, and people are like, never say fly again.
Now, like kindergartners and first graders are doing it. So if you're in like middle school and it's coming in from both ends of the age spectrum, you're like, yeah, fuck this. I gotta find anything.
Totally makes sense.
No cap.
Oh, I am enraged by the trend of people just changing words and be like, well, you can't say that on the internet. You're like, I've been on the internet. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Like, that is just, you're like, no, if you don't use that word, and you're like, it's like the same people who use another word, like a random made up word, instead of saying fuck or shit or cock or whatever. And you're like, we all know what you're saying, dude. I don't know. Are you trying to be blameless here? Because we know it's not,
I think in the case of it, a lot of it is like, so the algorithm doesn't like eat your thing, like doesn't.
Oh yeah, that's true. They will censor your stuff.
Yeah, but the algorithm needs to fucking grow up. Okay, stop being a child. Stop being a bitch. Okay. Yeah.
Did you guys ever like looking at other types of parties? So like we've talked about a lot of Halloween because it's a couple days after Halloween at the time of recording this, but like holiday parties, like Christmas, or in Dino's case, nothing.
Yeah, I like parties for nothing.
Yeah, parties for nothing in the winter for a thing, for no thing.
So nothing. This is the thing. I remember we had like the end of the year party for the bank I used to work at, and everyone was getting liquored up enough that like I almost got information out of a associate vice president. And I was like, yeah, you never told me about what happened with that. He's like, yeah, well, and then he stopped. He's like, you almost got me. I'm like, goddamn, fucking so close. And then we heard stories about the VPs, like big time VPs, like got shit faced at a table, and like wives were arguing it like it was a problem. And there's like everybody just best behavior. No, 2 drink minimum. Like that was the year that everyone switched, and I'm like, you're all a bunch of pieces of shit.
I have so many weird thoughts about like specifically holiday parties. Like, okay, for a long time, I have never worked at a company big. Like I always worked at pretty small places or whatever when I wasn't self-employed. So like I never really worked at a company big enough for there to be like the big holiday parties where everybody gets like shit-faced and is making out in a closet, and like, so I don't really understand. And I know this is a huge part of a lot of cultures, but like, I don't understand the getting shit-faced with your coworkers.
Yeah.
The only exception to that I've had has been like retail jobs where we're all kind of experiencing collective trauma at the same time.
You're like, let's commiserate together.
Right. Yeah. Like you actually do kind of want to go out for a drink with your coworkers afterwards. But like the whole, also just because like I'm like at really like normie workplaces, like I'm always the weirdo, I'm always like the token queer person, like it's always just fucking like I don't care about sports, like oh, that team did so great last night, thumbs up, like, so I can't hold a lot of those conversations in a lot of ways. And so like I just like mentally never got that. I never got the partying with your coworkers. I never got the hookup culture at the holiday parties, because there was always like tea and drama about stuff like that happening, like you were saying, Dino.
Yeah.
So I do not get holiday parties. Albeit like holiday parties with friends, I get it, because like sometimes people come back into town and it's like somebody you haven't seen for a really long time or whatever. But Yeah, it's the coworker thing is so weird to me, honestly.
It's the same though when people are like, "Oh, that's my work wife or my work husband." You're like, "That's weird. You really shouldn't do that."
That's totally yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
It's
never called it a work husband like my neighbor or my like work bestie or teacher bestie or whatever. Like that feels less creepy to me.
yeah. But and
Sure.
that's the thing is having like I've explained this. I was like, this is the process, right? Like, so you meet somebody at work and you're like, maybe they're okay. All right. So maybe we'll have lunch and conversation goes well. And then, okay, from that, maybe we'll go out for lunch. That goes okay. And then you're like, hey, you want to grab a beer afterward? Just us? Okay. And then next, you're like, hey, why don't we double date? And that's an option. I'm like, the problem is you get on a double date, which you confirmed for a steakhouse, and then your coworker's wife shows up and she's like, I'm actually vegan. Your wife starts kicking you under the table and you're like, I vetted these people. I thought they were normal. I don't know what to do.
And I was always the weird. I was like I have 1,200 dietary restrictions. This sucks. I can't go to the Korean barbecue. Like I was always that asshole, and I knew it. I have been vegetarian and have food allergies since the 1990s. Like I know I'm that guy.
Yeah.
So exactly, like I've
But
just
then,
been on the other side of that, you know.
oh, but this is the thing is, if you tell me, be like, hey, I can't do anything. Okay, you choose the place and we'll figure it out. Because I'm like, I'll find food to eat. I've been to fancy parties, and on the way home, I look over at my wife and she goes, you want to get a burger? I'm like, I would love a burger right now. And we just stop and get something. Why? Because I'm like, listen, we're not there. Like, we're there for the food, clearly. But I'm like, I'm there for the experience, the conversation, getting to know people, and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's not, and that's why I'm like, it's more like I suggested, and this is a real life thing. I was like, hey, we want to try the steakhouse. Are you guys okay with that? And they're like, oh yeah, we love steakhouses. And then the spouse of the other person is like, oh, I'm actually off meat right now. And I'm like, then why do we book this place? I don't understand what the fuck you were talking about. Like, why wouldn't you suggest that? And they're like, oh, I'll figure it out. And you're just like, I don't know what to do here. It's very confusing.
At that point, you have to be hands off. But also, like I will say, just having been that guy for multiple decades at this point, like, yeah, you either are going to figure it out or ask the appropriate questions of the server and advocate for yourself, which like I had to do from very young.
Yeah.
Or, you know, yeah, just be forthright and be like, hey, can we pivot to somewhere else, or just eat beforehand or whatever, you know, oh, I found one appetizer, cool, I can hang with that one, you know.
I had a fun time. Somebody invited me, so we were going to a wedding, and we carpooled because everyone was like, we're all gonna find our own way home at the end of the night, but we'll get that. They carpooled with me, and then everybody separated. So we got there, and as we're pulling up, my one buddy's like, hey, maybe we should stop for burgers. I'm like, bro, it's a wedding. Why would we stop for burgers? He's like, it's vegetarian. I'm like, the fuck did you just say to me? And he goes, yeah, it's a vegetarian wedding. I looked at my wife and I'm like, pull $40 out of the envelope. I'm not giving that kind of money to vegetarians. No, not doing it. Luckily, they had an Oberlin bar, but I'm like, it was the first time.
Not giving them money, but you're giving them less money.
I gave them less money. Yeah, it was. This is like early. It was probably like mid 2000s. I had $300 in there. I'm like, yeah, take $40 out there. They're not.
I mean, it's also worth it to say in context that like vegetarian food, unless it was essentially like ethnic food or South Asian food, like it was not to the parody level that it has evolved to during this era, you know.
It was
a lot of food, at least for, you know, North America.
Yeah,
the goal of the food is to mimic meat,
right?
Which meat, and then whereas you know, ethnic food or South Asian food, it's intrinsic to the food itself.
Hey, when Orchid came up here, she was like, hey, let's try a vegetarian restaurant. I'm like, okay. So we went, and it's essentially they did everything with mushrooms instead. It was fantastic. I had a great time, but you're like, but they just, because it was Chinese food. So they're like, instead of using meats, they used mushrooms and then cooked it the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, yo, this is delicious. I was full. I had a great time. No issues whatsoever.
Yeah,
This
to what
place,
you said, Atlas, like that's a little bit of a yes and no because I was going to some of like the Asian places. I mean, yeah, like I grew up in a super Asian area, so I was going to some of the Asian places, particularly like the Asian Buddhist places
yeah,
and the Chinese grocery stores and so like those were some of the first places where you could get like some of the decent like fake and like it would be textured like fake duck or
yeah,
fake chicken or whatever because there were always like Buddhists, at least kind of
yeah,
in the communities. So that was some of the first places you could get some of that stuff. I didn't know about that until way later, but
yeah.
yeah.
It's a real thing. Like that's so right now. Victoria and I are trying to perfect a tofu in the air fryer, and it actually puffs up
Ooh.
into balls. And it's actually delicious. And I'm like, I'm not a huge fan of tofu, but this way is delicious because I'm like, it's tofu is good for you. It's good for her because it's got a lot of good stuff for ladies. I'm like, it's got protein, which is good for me, and then also it's like a crunchy snack. So like it worked. It actually, I preferred it over like chips, and now we're trying to figure out like what kind of sauce we can put on them that will still be kind of healthy and good because like they're crunchy and it's funny because people are like because you cut it into squares, throw it in the air fryer because we season it and then cover it in cornstarch, put it in the air fryer, and the air fryer it turns into a circle, which I'm like I don't know how that maths, but the squares turn into circles, and I'm very happy about it. So.
Here's an interesting game changer I only learned about maybe like within the past 10 years from all the fellow vegan veg folks around me. There is something called a tofu press where you can actually use it to like press the additional water out of a block of tofu. And that helps it retain like some density and thicker texture when you cook it.
Oh yeah. So we have a Korean grocery store just down the street from us, and they make tofu daily, and like it's like significantly superior. But the same thing. So we cut it, leave it out, pat it dry, and just kind of. But so far, I'm like, it's very entertaining.
I had a friend in college who was really into tofu, and she would she didn't have a tofu press, but she would just like get a pan, like a baking pan, and put up like a bunch of books and heavy shit on top, and just naturally make a tofu.
Yeah, same idea. Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways to manage it, but you find out that the more water you can get out of stuff. Even I found this out the other day was put your mushrooms in sunlight for 10 minutes before you cook them. They're like apparently it absorbs vitamin D really fast, and it's a huge supplement to your body.
Oh my gosh!
So just because a lot of times you'll clean it or skin it or whatever you do with your mushrooms, and even chop it up because the more surface area, the more it'll absorb. Put it in the sun, direct sun, for about 10 minutes, and then cook it, and you're just crazy vitamin D. Hold on. Let's go through some of Jim's.
We've gone way the fuck off topic.
Yeah, we have.
It got down to.
Hey, want to talk about partying? Tofu.
This is also exactly how the party would go. It's fine.
We would have I can make this delicious tofu appetizers at that party. Okay, I mean, be real.
It got down to 65 degrees Fahrenheit in Southern California back in the 40s, and they still talk about it. That's fair. We would give full-size candy bars, but make the trick-or-treaters walk through our avocado orchard.
Okay, Jim, are you sure it was that and not Saw? Like, I would like to play a game. You get king-size candy bars.
Yeah.
And
it was a razor wire avocado orchard, just to be very clear. And
right.
Yeah, fat people have to wear Hawaiian shirts. I'm surprised they don't have that law in Canada. I mean, listen, I'm not opposed to it, but now I identify as a socially acceptable amount of fat, so I'm trying to transition.
That's what I was saying earlier. I was like, was that friend like fat guy profiling you?
He was. The funny thing is, so this is the weird thing that I've been experiencing is because I grew up as a fat guy. I lost some weight at one point in my life, immediately gained it all back, and I've been a fat guy. And now I've been losing weight, and the amount of people that I know who they show me pictures from when they were young, and I'm like, oh, you were in great shape. And they're like, now I'm in the worst shape of my life. I'm like, that's funny because I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'm having a great time. And I'm
in a better shape in my 30s than I was in my 20s. Knees, if knees are not part of the equation.
Oh yeah. Hey,
but like,
my
general,
knees are
like,
cereal. They're just
yeah,
snap crackle pop. That's what they do. It's so, but yeah. Sunday night at the Dime on Fairfax is the best party.
I was on the show at the Dime, and then Jim was there for some reason. I was like, "You came all the way the hell down from Santa Barbara," and he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna, continue doing that." The Dime is a show on Tuesdays and Sundays. It's right next to Fairfax High School. If you're in LA. It's run by this guy, a guy named Josh, who's like kind of crazy, but he's like fun crazy.
Oh, that's just Josh's in general, though.
Yeah.
You're like, you're an odd fellow. And they're like, yeah.
I performed comedy at company parties and seen some crazy stuff. Story time. So this last year at the last school I was at, they had like their little winter fest, like, the winter concerts where like, the band's playing and, people are performing songs. And the principal goes, "You should do stand-up." And I was like, "I really don't want to." And he's like, "We don't have enough people in spots. Can you please?" I'm like, "Okay." So I went to go, get my set ready, and I'm sitting there going like, "This is clean. I can do this." Like,
that's gotta be like Christian, like church clean.
Yes, there is a difference between clean and school appropriate, and I learned that lesson as I proceeded to bomb in front of the entire faculty, students, and parents. The age difference.
Wait. So Atlas, did you do like a PG-13 set and everybody was all pissed off about it? Like, what happened?
It was PG-13, yes, and also because I'm, significantly older than my students, it was only working with the parents and the faculty. The kids were like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" What was interesting was like, this was the last thing before winter break. Yeah. So it happens, and then we all go on break. And I come back, I'm like, I wonder if anyone remembered. Because I didn't say anything. I wasn't like, "Oh, I've been humiliated," and like run off into the night. I stayed for the rest of the show and like I just kind of came back and be like, "Okay," and just continue on with my life, and no one said anything for the rest of the year.
Perfect.
Comedians, if you're going to perform in front of school-age children, clean and school appropriate is a huge delta. Just be ready for that.
I would.
By the way, like, I aspire to bomb on stage and then yell, "Oh, I've been humiliated," wave my handkerchief, and ride away on my penny farthing bicycle. Like, I wish that's how we could deal with every time we did terribly as awesome. Comedians on stage.
I feel like we should bring it back. Like, I feel like that would be, we could be. We should bring in that and the giant hook that pulls you off stage. Like, those two things.
Holy shit! Yes.
Yeah. Those two things.
Is priority number one.
There's going to be a guy on stage where he's like, "I'm going to talk about feminazis," and the fucking hook appears, and he's like, "Wait, no," and then gets pulled off.
Yeah, no. Are we on the dating apps, guys?
Hey, as soon as somebody says, "Hey, so where are you guys from?" Just pull them off. Just pull them off. You're not famous.
Like when they start doing crowd work, you pull them off.
Yeah. Crowd work is not for an open mic. Just absolutely the fuck not.
100% with you on that. Yeah.
It is. If it is a paid show, definitely get the crowd involved. Of course. You know what? They love that shit. It's an open mic. We're all here just trying to work through shit. Don't fucking talk to anybody. They're mostly comedians. Shut your goddamn mouth. It's very, Josh is the best crowd work comedian there is. The fucking lie.
The best part is like, he's talking about a specific Josh, but
I know he is.
That could be any Josh.
Yeah.
Like any Josh.
And I'm not going to let Joshes think it's them. Okay. You need to be specific, Jim, or else they're not getting any praise from me. Atlas dog ran away when we mentioned Korean.
That's true.
Wildly inappropriate, Jim.
Oh dear.
Wow. No, that's really funny. So like, parties for what's like a party that has had the flimsiest pretext? They're like, "Why are we celebrating this?"
Okay, this might be a hot take, but like, I personally find both St. Patrick's and like
Oh, yeah.
Cinco de Mayo, which is not particularly significant in actual Mexican culture,
Yes.
to just be like, here is stupid pretext to go to a bar or get shit faced like somewhere in the middle of the year.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
100%.
why I think we need another major holiday season in the middle of the year, because you have Halloween and Christmas in like quick succession, and then nothing until what, 4th of July if you're in the US, and that's not even a season. That's okay. We'll set some stuff on fire. Cool.
Right.
Which LA loves. Let's be honest.
We do. We do.
Oh,
we are the pyros of the
fireworks
nation.
starting on Memorial Day weekend. Absolutely.
Yeah, which actually, now that I have a dog, I'm not really looking forward to that season because she's probably going to lose her shit.
Buy her earmuffs. It's fine. You're fine.
Have you seen her ears? They're really like kooky looking. I don't think the earmuffs are going to fit that well.
Really big earmuffs and duct tape. You're fine. It's fine. It'll work. It's the you know what, Al? You're absolutely right. So St. Patrick's Day, hilariously, not a holiday in Ireland. They're like,
yeah,
it's a holy day.
Absolutely, yeah.
Shut everything down. Like it's not. It's knit her a mini hat. It's a good point.
Is it like the holiday for, you know, descendants of those Irish people who came over, and like that's, or what? It's just a nothing. Like,
I believe
we needed to have a holiday in March so we could like green. Like, what's the?
Okay, it's okay. Yeah. Let me just make sure I'm not getting it wrong. By the way, did you hear that they found snakes in Ireland again?
No, they couldn't have.
The snake thing in St. Patrick was a large sack of bullshit. It was
Doesn't matter.
It also was not about pagans because there were still a ton of folk practitioners. They were just like, oh, I'll superficially go to church now a little bit. So that didn't stop. Like all the folk practices and folk healing and stuff did not stop after St. Patrick was kind of incompetent. If you look up his life story, like he was not that St. Patrick, not that great. Like that was literally
it's not just that he's not that great. The only information we have is from a declaration which he wrote himself. That's not so according to tradition, not history, nothing else. Tradition, Patrick returned to Ireland to convert the pagan Irish to Christianity. The declaration, what he wrote himself, says that he spent many years evangelizing in the northern half of Ireland and converted thousands. Tradition holds that he died on March 17th and was buried in Downpatrick. Over the following centuries, many legends grew up around Patrick, and he became Ireland's foremost saint. I listen. Have you guys? Do you remember? I think it was in. I think it was Family Guy where they're like Ireland before booze, and it's like a futuristic society, and then they get booze, and they're like, you're so like, there's like this weird thing where, like, even wildly, because people go nuts on St. Paddy's Day. So if you have like, where my lodge would go for drinks after lodge was a place called the Brogue. I believe it's now closed. And it was an Irish bar owned by an Irish family, and we knew all their kids, and they would bring in their little kids. Like, it was a great thing. On St. Paddy's Day, there wasn't only a lineup down the street to get in there, but it was mental in there. And we would show up like just randomly and be like, shit, it's St. Patrick's Day. And we would have to leave because there would be like 10 of us, and we're all men, and we're all like, you know, grumpy older men. And it just absolutely was like, nope, we got to go somewhere else. And they're like, no, stay. And you're like, no, this is a bad idea. Just because then the booze starts flowing, and we would do Irish car bombs a lot. And
and that definitely seems to be like more of an East Coast North America thing too, because like in LA, a lot of people drive everywhere. Like we didn't have ride shares here for a long time, so it was way less big of a thing here. Yeah.
Well, and
now,
that's the funny thing.
In LA, I think Cinco de Mayo is the one with the more like fervor and celebration, but that's because our tacos are that good, or it's just like sweet tacos, like you know.
Yeah.
But also too, like like one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard is on St. Patrick's Day, Chicago dyes the river green, And they're like, why can't they dye it blue for the rest of the time? Because it looks like shit. It's a real thing. St. Patrick's Day is crazy. Why don't we have a Guy Fawkes night? A guy.
He spelled it folks, but I think he means Guy Fawkes.
Because Guy Fawkes is a failure, and that's basically it.
It is where we get the word guys as like a
crazy people
of people.
Also gender neutral.
Yeah, it is gender neutral.
Yeah.
Same with
that makes me wonder. It's like initially was the meaning of guy like, oh, this fucking guy? Like
100%
implication.
It wasn't just this fucking guy, it was these fucking guys, and it was a whole group of them, and they're like fucking guys. Yeah.
Right.
These fucking guys that are gonna blow up Parliament. Same with Cinco de Mayo. I think we just have that because it's to humiliate the French. I mean, like,
I'm always down to humiliate the French, though. Let's be honest.
In your case, yes, because you hate Quebec, but also, like,
I hate France.
The U.S. like had a close relationship with France up until World War II, I think.
And look where it got you. All right,
independence. It did. We would have lost the war without France.
You could have had a king like we did, but no. You wanted to have a president, and look where it got you.
Yeah,
look where it got you.
An AI king, so
that one I'm on your side with. That's
Now you have a much worse situation. So
yeah,
not that we're any better. We can't even win a World Series
with Halloween. Maybe because it's remember the 5th of November, right?
It's the 5th of November. It's just after. Yeah. Remember the 5th of November.
The party is more about holidays.
Well, you know what though? That's the thing too. Is like so I don't remember what I think it was in the early 2000s, maybe around 2010 when they started doing Family Day in February because we didn't have a holiday. Like January, you have New Year's, so everyone got a day off. February, we didn't have anything, and then March we would have stuff. So because we have March break for students and everything, so in February we have Family Day. Which, like, in all honesty, like growing up not celebrating anything for us, anytime there was a statutory holiday, because my dad had his own business, he's like, I'm not paying you guys double time to do shit. We're going to be at home. And then it was a perfect excuse where everyone was free. We would have a family get together and we would eat and enjoy ourselves. And it was a good opportunity, right? So, like, that's, and even now, like, Victoria, my wife will be like, hey, what do you want to do on the holiday? And I'm like, listen, that is the government saying you need a day off, and the government is the worst. Okay, let's be honest. And if they say you need a day off, we definitely need a day off. So let's do nothing and just relax and just calm down. So, but yeah, that's fair.
I guess I like that idea more than like President's Day. Like President's Day is such a weird concept. Like, woo, there were some presidents. One of them was a slave owner. Thumbs up. Like
more than one. Like, well, to be honest,
because Washington and Lincoln had birthdays in February, so like just fucking put them together. You know,
the idea. Listen, you understand that we don't have like a King's Day, right? Like you guys have more celebrations for your presidents than we do for the monarchy. Kind of fucking weird.
I was not aware of that. But...
Yeah. That's you guys. This is the funny thing is like. When you look at the differences,
you have Queen Victoria's birthday is a holiday, don't you?
Yeah, that's for one individual person. That's like St. Patrick's Day. It's the same thing. Okay, it's not all queens or all kings. Trust me, half of them we have, we're so like, go fuck yourself.
I have to ask though, like on Queen Victoria's birthday, do they have like the little novelty like veils that she used to wear?
So
like the stupid Saint. Okay, sorry.
No, that's the thing is because Victoria Day is usually later on in May, and it's usually around the 24th. So people refer to it as May 2-4 because it's usually a 4-day weekend, and you will drink at least a 2-4 of beer. So it's May 2-4, and it's just it's that's what people do. Mm-hmm. So it's like and hilariously, it's also coincides. My wife was named after Queen Victoria because she was born in the UK, and like her name day is right around there. My name day is around there. So I'm like, yeah, we just have a good time. It has nothing. We don't give a shit about the monarchy at all, just because we're like, there's a king somewhere. I don't give a shit. I have my own problems. I'm trying to fucking.
It's the same thing with President's Day. People don't like, okay, yay for the presidents. No one's like, pour one out for James Buchanan. Like, it's not. a thing.
I'm gonna find somebody who is like, I pour one out for James Buchanan.
Okay, he's one of the worst presidents. He's like the last guy in charge.
And how much you want to bet? There's an entire like cult who's like James Buchanan was actually the greatest. It's history that's changed things, right? Like it's which is a very American thing.
Probably gay. Like there's a, he was the only single president, and like there was a guy who
is he one of the ones who's he had a best friend that he lived with, and you're like,
yep, that's it. And then he was also like, I'm not going to pay attention to what's going on in the South. Okay, bye. Just in time for the Civil War to start. So, anywho, President's Day is more important when you're a kid because you're like, yay, 3-day weekend. Or, there's not like, I'm going to put on a stovepipe hat because it's President's Day. Like, there's not.
I mean, like, when we were kids, they wanted to make you, like, make the stupid outfits and give a presentation and stuff like that. I always thought that was weird.
They give you a president and then you have to do research. I got Grover Cleveland, which was like, dude, fuck Grover Cleveland.
Jim says, I play the Jew card every Jewish holiday to get the day off. Listen, but this is the thing is, hey, we don't have those kind of things for the monarchy, and you guys have, like, they're in school, they're like, you have to learn about every president. You're like, why? Fuck them. It's not. It's quite funny that you guys are like, we don't have a monarchy, but we are enslaved to the presidency. It is a very funny thing. You gotta understand.
Yeah, I remember when I was probably towards the end of high school, I took my first trip to the UK, like with a school group.
Nice.
And I went on this kick of like reading all about the British monarchy because I would say probably up through Queen Victoria, just because like their lives were so fascinatingly weird, and the marrying like all the other European monarchs thing, and like they were like all diseased and stuff. Like I found them fascinating. I thought that was like just the weirdest like foreign thing to me.
Well, like one of the things is like the Habsburgs, and they're like how they inbred and everything. And then there's who is it? The Try Guys has a guy who's a Habsburg, and if you look at his picture, you're like, he looks exactly like the Habsburgs with the weirdo chin and everything. You're like, Jesus. And you're like, that you should get tested for stuff. I don't know what the fuck you have, bro. Like he's like, I'm 6'8". You're like, you are a freak of nature with your weirdo face. Like there's a lot of crazy history, and then you're like, all these people, like, so we were talking at work, and they're like, it's the patriarchy. I'm like, no, patriarchy, matriarchy, aristocracy, monarchy, anarchy, all archies. They're all shit. Just stay away from all of them. Okay. They're all problematic. You don't need any of them.
That's anarchy.
No, it's not. It's nothing.
No. Okay. Hang on.
Anarchism.
I would just like to interject that it will be important to say the title of this episode as "What Makes a Great Party?" Vietnam accent. That was a great segue.
Yes.
To
what make great party? At least Novack give you the the information. You need help win back girl? Come join party.
We have girls at party. It's great. It's very social. No. President's Day is when president comes out of the White House, and if he sees a shadow, he can do whatever he wants.
No more presidents thinking they can do whatever they want.
Everyone gets to do whatever they want.
Stage.
Hell with that. Yes.
Yeah.
They need a giant for the president. Just hey, you've talked too much. Come on, just get him off there. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair.
The dime tonight, they're having shots James for James Buchanan. So I'm teaching The Great Gatsby to my kids, and one of the characters has the last name Buchanan, spelled the same way, and they thought it was cannon, like pew pew, like BYOO cannon was how they thought it was spelled.
I didn't know you teach special needs. Good for you, Atlas.
No, it's just one of those things where like it's in the book. You can.
Wait, okay. I also have to interject here. I just realized like a couple nights ago, that the name F. Scott Fitzgerald would be an amazing drag performer name.
Totally. Yeah. And he's like, on some days I'm Zelda. And which is also a great drag name.
I forget where it was where somebody's like, "Oh, F. Scott Fitzgerald." They're like, "Why? What did Scott Fitzgerald do to you?" And they're like, "No, his name is F. Scott Fitzgerald." I'm like, "Why is his name F. Scott Fitzgerald? That doesn't make. What the fuck did this guy do to you? You know, like it's
that sounds like a Mad TV sketch, to be honest.
Very
like, just do the who's on first thing with.
We were getting ready, and someone brought up lowered expectations from Mad TV, and you're like, "Oh, that's." Someone was like, "I want this," and the guy's like, "You should lower those expectations, like Mad TV. Just bring them down a little bit. You know, it's a bad idea."
I really want to go back and watch that show because, like I remember when it was on at the time, I was in high school, probably like through, early 20s and stuff like that. And it was very much like LA's kind of like spunky answer to like how entrenched and old school like some of the things going on at SNL were. And I really want to go back and watch it now because like it was really great.
It was
it's on Disney Plus, I think. I have to look.
It's you watch it and you're like, oh, it's kind of like looking back at like Tropic Thunder. You're like, oh, they couldn't do this again. No, there's no way.
I don't know.
It's a wild.
Good LA answer to SNL was Key and Peele. Key and Peele.
So
yes,
Key and Peele. I enjoy Key and Peele's shtick very much, but also like it is very reminiscent of Mad TV. It's just very centralized on their experience as opposed to everyone, because you had Bobby Lee in there, then you had white guys, and you had like Stewart, bro. People still dress like Stewart for Halloween. They're like, no, and you're like, that's fantastic. That is a great character.
I think in like Key and Peele's case, you need Key and Peele for it to exist.
Oh yeah.
Mad TV, much like SNL, you can hot swap people in and out, and it's still Mad TV.
I would honestly like give almost anything for them to make another season. Like I know they all have other careers and like saying like, oh, they should do a revival, like, and the people who actually do revivals are like, it's kind of pathetic a lot of the time, but like I would love to just see where things went in like the 2020s from them, because I just loved like the angle of the humor. I thought it was so funny.
Well, and also too, like it was very much a comedy show by comedians as opposed to people who wanted to be actors and people who wanted to be improvists. And you're like, no, these are comedians. And even like the what's her name? She does, I think it's Lorraine, where she's like, oh, what is that? Oh, and it's I forget what the actress's name is, but she does it every year for like Halloween, and she's got the pants hiked up and she's coughing on people, and you're just like, the what? And you're just like, Jesus, it's a great character, but you're like, those are number one inspired by real people, of course, but it's a hilarious experience. Anyways,
I was rewatching Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. It just felt like it. I did not realize how many Mad TV alums are on that show. Like they have this character who's like an English teacher who's teaching through a webcam because it's the mid 2000s, and they're like, we have Skype now. Like, I'm wondering, how many? Because I'm like trying to look it up now. But she was what's her name, Bo Howard or something, where she like has the tight ponytail. Nope.
Yeah, I was not familiar with that. One of the big comedy threads that I followed, like one of the biggest influences on my comedy, and I think just my sense of humor as a human being, is this show that was pretty briefly on MTV, and it was called The State. And it was very much like Gen X's answer to SNL. A lot of the people in it were in Wet Hot American Summer, and a lot of the alums from it went on to do, well, first they did Viva Variety, and then they went on to do Reno 911.
I remember Reno
I
911.
felt that both of the alum shows were kind of hit and miss. They were kind of all over the place sometimes, but like the sketch show The State was just like, it really shaped my sense of humor in a lot of ways. I think I highly recommend going back and watching that.
Oh yeah. I you know what, that's the funny thing is when you look back, you're like, what the kind of things that shaped your humor and what you find entertaining are very specific, and you're like, because you can go back to them and you're like, this is gold, and some people look at you and you're like, you're a fucking weirdo, and you're like, yeah, that's 100% accurate. Like, I'm still a fan of Super Troopers, and I'll watch it and I'm just like, this is art. This is 100% art. And people are like, you have a problem. Like, yeah, that's absolutely true. I have no problem with that. But yeah.
Well, L Faunt, thank you so much for coming on Generation Dan.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Where
we didn't even have to talk about a sports that much.
We wouldn't have said anything if you had not said anything.
It was all my fault.
You need to get a shirt that says "Yay Sports" and just wear it, and just have a generic logo on it of like,
right.
It could be any sport.
Or it's made up of different like logos or something, right. or like the S is like the SD in San Diego Padres or something.
It would work.
Where can people find and follow you and all that good stuff?
So I am mainly on Instagram at L Faunt, and I am also on Blue Sky. I always have to look up my handle because I'm like, do I have one L or do I have two L's on there? I'm on Blue Sky at llfaunt.bsky.social.
I think that's everybody. I think the .bsky.social is like assumed for everybody.
You have to type in the HTTP //
Yeah, see, that's why I'm the elderly millennial exennial.
You can find us at Generation Dan wherever social medias are found. Follow me at Atlas Novack and all those same places like TikTok or Instagram, or you can check out my other show, Nexus at Night, which is about the trading card game Card Fight Vanguard, which if you don't like it, fuck you, I guess. That's on Fridays at 7 p.m. Pacific. How about you, Dino?
I'm finally getting, so after today I will actually be able to get back to regularly scheduled programming and start doing all my podcasts again, because essentially Halloween has taken over my life, which I happily, it was kind of like when you get possessed by something, you're like, oh, I could work with this. This is a good thing. This is, so it's gonna be good. Today actually I released a video, it's episode 3 of Bits and Bytes with Kelly Zemnekas, and we interview a friend who visited it was random because we had somebody planned and then I got sick, so we couldn't do it. So a friend of ours was visiting from Vancouver, so we took him to a place and we had burgers and we chatted about comedy. So check it out on my YouTube channel, Dino the Genetic Marvel, and that is airing today. And aside from that, there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff happening. We've switched our thing on Monday nights. We're going to start doing movie nights, and we're going to live watch and react to really weird movies because, why not? But yeah, so follow me there and follow me here and follow me everywhere. If anything, you could kind of follow me around in person, but it's not going to work out the way you think it is, because I will just hide around a corner and then turn around.
He's sitting in a rocking chair, sitting in a closet, and
I mean, I did ask for a chair in my closet, and they're like, feel like you'd sit down too much. And you're like, I would. That's a smart move. You shouldn't give me a chair, because I will just hang out. I'll reach out and just grab
you. They're like, if you have time to lean, you have time to clean. What is this? Like,
I mean, like it's the worst part is some people will come out and they'll be like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, get back to your position. Be ready for anybody. Be the scare. But what are you gonna do? Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.
Bye everyone. Thanks so much for having me, Generation Dan.